All right, hell yeah. So I took 2 days off on this project, and so in the next hour, I'm going to start poor man's fiberglassing this boat. And so that's wood glue and painter's drop cloth, cotton drop cloth. So just cotton fabric and wood glue. And so, hell yeah. And because, you know what I mean, if I fiberglassed it, I would have to do the same method, you know what I mean, and so I don't mind even doing 3 layers of wood glue and cloth. And I can sit in this boat. So, really, the only thing that I need is actually the waterproofness and not the strength. And so that's kind of fascinating to me. And I kind of want to learn the process of poor man's fiberglass and see if it's a worthwhile thing to do. You know, it's kind of reminiscent of paper mache. And so, hell yeah. And so right off the bat, I know that if I'm gonna, if I had to fiberglass over that piece, well, I have to do something about that, either tape that down or whatnot. And so, so hell yeah. So let's start in. Even if I do a tiny chunk, it'll still be worthwhile. Booyah! All right, hell yeah. So we got that on there, and yeah, let us begin. You know what I mean? We're just gonna do a little bit, and maybe just this top surface. All right, hell yeah. All right, hell yeah. So we got a gallon of Tidy Bond. I'm just spreading it with a gloved hand. We had this taped on there, so I'm going to lay it over. And hell yeah. And then we're going to wet it out. All right, so hell yeah. And this is type 2 Tidy Bond. Booyah. All right, so I taped that piece of fabric right there so it laid over. And now we're going to coat that surface. And that's it. I just want to do one surface and be done for today and say that I did something. Hell yeah. All right, hell yeah. And so we're done with our application. So we got that glued up. Now that takes a lot of, you know what I mean, moisture. But essentially what's going to happen is like potentially the glue glues it down, and then we still have a little bit of a porous surface that can take paint. And then the latex paint, once you paint it with a few coats, then that provides like a waterproofness. And so what we're looking for is just waterproof, not necessarily so much rigidity. And so hell yeah. And I didn't go over the corners just because I wanted to keep those pretty soft. And then when hopefully that glues down over 24 hours or whatever to where I can pull these corners tight and then work on those. But you know what I mean? I was just in the process of this boat of like not doing anything with it. And so might as well at least do this. So that's it. I mean, that'd be another 20 days if I just did, you know what I mean, that each day. But um, again, today is just like an experimentation day where it's just like, hell yeah, let's try it out. Just because, yeah, just to see if I could get this seaworthy. Because if I did fiberglass this entire boat with one layer and then it got a hole, a pinhole, and then started leaking and just saturated all this cardboard, like the boat's ruined anyway. You know what I mean? Where it would mold and that water would never come out. And so this is why I was just like, yeah, let's just do poor man's fiberglass. And even if I just test this boat for a day, you know what I mean? And then I'm only out, let's say I did 5 of these. I'm only out like $100, and I'm just chopping up tons of painter's cloth that we already have that have plenty of holes in them anyway. And so you can always get new painter's cloth. All right, so hell yeah. So we're doing it. Thanks for joining me. Booyah.